Okay, everybody, we are going to go into our second lesson on reducing fractions. So the steps are the same because we're doing the same thing, but we are going to continue practicing. This can be a tricky concept. It also is going to be something that's really important as we go through into fractions and as you continue in fractions as you get older. So something to remember. Parts of our fraction. We have our numerator on the top, denominator on the bottom. We are always going to divide when we're going into our reducing fractions. And our goal is to get down until we get to lowest terms. So we're going to continue to divide the numerator and denominator until we get down to lowest terms. And what I mean by that is that it can only be divided by 1. So that the only common thing you can divide the numerator and denominator by is 1. So let's do a couple of examples. For example, if we have, let me get my bucket of markers here. If we have 16 twentieths, so if we have 16 twentieths, when we look at this, my first instinct is to say that it is divisible by 2 because they're both even. So if I were to divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. And again, my arrows here are only to help you see what my thought process is. You do not have to do the arrows. I know sometimes you can feel like it makes your work messy if you're trying to figure out, what it says or, all that stuff. So if you don't like the arrows, that's perfectly fine. If you do like the arrows, great, go ahead and do them. So 16 and 20 are both divisible by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to look at this and say, can I divide 8 and 10 by anything? Yes, I can. They're still both even. So, and once again, see how I'm not erasing any of my work? I want to see your work. So now if I look at this, 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So then I'm going to ask myself, can I divide 4 and 5 by the same thing? Nope. They're only divisible by 1. So I'm going to circle my answer, and that is the lowest terms for 16 twentieths. Okay? Let's try another one. So let's do 15 thirtieths. So if I look at this, I know that both of these are divisible by 5 because they end in 5 and 0. So if I think about my divisibility rules, they're both divisible by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Is that in lowest terms? No, it's not. So I can divide them both by 3. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we get 1/2. Now, you might be saying, well, I was going to divide by something different, and that's perfectly fine. So another way that we could do 16 twentieths would be, I know that 4 goes into both of these. Divide by 4, divide by 4. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So in that way, we got the lowest terms in one step. Let's try this one. So if we continue with 15 thirtieths, now for this one, I know that 15 goes into 30. So 15 divided by 15 equals 1, and 30 divided by 15 equals 2. But again, if you're not familiar with your 15s, then you can break it down and see, okay, well, I can divide it by 5 and I can divide it by 3. Both ways, I'm going to get the right answer. Okay, I'm still going to get down to lowest terms. Okay, let's try a couple more. And then we'll be ready to go. All right, let's do 42 49ths. All right, so 42 49ths. Now this one's tough. Not a whole lot that's going to go into these, but I have seen both these facts before. Now, 49 is my big trigger, my big kind of clue here. So the only thing that goes into 49, other than 1 and 49, if we think about our factor list, is 7. So then you want to ask yourself, can 7 go into 42? Yeah. So I'm going to divide both of these by 7. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 49 divided by 7 is 7. And that is going to be our lowest terms because 6 and 7 are only divisible by 1. Because remember, you have to do the same thing to the numerator as you do to the denominator. So the only thing that goes into both of those is 1. All right, let's do 10/80. Now, for this one, there are a lot of ways that you can approach this. But if we think about our extended facts, these both end in 0, right? So if I divide these by 10, that's going to get us down to a smaller, into our lowest terms much faster. So 10 divided by 10 is 1. 80 divided by 10 is 8. So 1/8. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do 12/36. So I could say, all right, they're both even. Half of 12 is 6. Half of 36, is 18. Now I know that 6 goes into 18, so I'm going to divide that by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 1/3 is going to be our lowest terms because 1 is the only thing that can go into 1 and 3. All right, let's do one more. How about 18/24? Okay, so they're both even. Let's go for that. So divide by 2. Divide by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Now hang on. I shouldn't have circled so fast. Is that in lowest terms? No. And here's what some people will do. They'll say, okay, well, 9 is odd. 2 can't go into it, so it's in lowest terms. It's not in lowest terms yet because what can I divide both of those by? They're both divisible by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now is it in lowest terms? Yeah, the only thing that goes into 3 and 4 is 1. So 3/4 is going to be our lowest terms. Okay, so what I'm going to have you guys do is our video's over. I'm going to have you guys go back over to Google Classroom, check out your board notes for today. And you have a worksheet and a fast check to complete and turn in. And if you have any questions, please stop by for office hours. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. All right, guys, have a great day.